Good morning. Well, for those who don't know me, I'm Jim Gaudino, president of Central Washington University. And before we start, I want to just mention a couple of dignitaries that we have in the office. I would in the office in the audience, and I'd also say just some of the dignitaries, because if you are here, you are a dignitary. But I do want to call out our representative, Tom Dent. Tom, wait, there we go. Thank you very much. I'll mention Tom again in a moment. He had no responsibility for funding this building, but I'm going to talk about another one in which he did have responsibility for funding. So thank you, Tom. We got some folks from our city government as well, Mary Morgan and Nancy Goodlow, and then we have lighting here, and lighting is responsible. If students, if there's anything wrong with the building, you might want to talk to lighting after our remarks. Don't do that, please. Yeah, some of them are nodding and some of them are looking puzzled. So I that's not in the script either, by the way, just so you know. So, this today, and it's so fantastic that this is being done on homecoming, because one of the things Central really works to become is the home for our students, and there's no better example of that belonging and that home than this new building. So today we are going to officially cut the ribbon and open up Dr. Owen Dugmore Hall and the North Side Commons, which I'll talk about in a moment, but is sitting just on the other side of this building. These facilities underlie that value of meeting, and not really meeting, but in our effort to exceed the expectation and the needs of our students, and to give them that feeling of a home away from home. They're really vital. The student experience, this feeling of home, this feeling of security and safety and belonging is really vital to Central being what we all know it is, and that's the best educational experience in the West, without any question. And as many of you know, our freshman enrollment has been growing year after year after year, and I just got word yesterday that this freshman class is a record-sized freshman class. So it's phenomenal, and I've been able to say that for 5 out of the last 6 years. So that's really the cool part, is that each year we get more and more students who are coming for that for that experience. But as our campus, as our student body grows, so does our campus need to grow. And this 105,000 square foot building with 402 beds, 3 baths, and no, I'm thinking of the Zillow ad, but and this will make everybody happy. 250 additional parking spaces that are on the other side of the building. It's also the first time Central has engaged in a building process that's commonly called design build, and that is you essentially design the same group of people are designing and building the building, and this building from the start of the project to the opening of the project was just a little under 2 years. And normally that's a 6-year process for if you go through the planning and the designing and the building as separate contracts. So you save money, and of course you save time. And when you speak about money, this is also a building in the state of Washington. The states, and this is not uncommon, that the state does not provide capital funding for non-academic structures. Those become self-support buildings, as we call them, and this is an example of that. So about 2 years ago, our Board of Trustees authorized Central to go into the bond market, and Central maintains a very high, in fact, the highest bond market that a comprehensive university can have. So we can borrow money at pretty good rates in the market. We went out, and this is a 40,000. I wish, huh? A $40 million project that we're seeing opening today. It also includes a 6,000 square foot dining facility. Most of our dining, we've kind of changed concept from looking around some of the folks like me who had the plastic tray, and you went along the line in the dining hall. Well, that concept has kind of disappeared. So it's now kind of walk up and little boutique and most of that was concentrated in the circ. Of course, as our campus grows, we've got to bring some of the food to the people and not continue to rely on the people going to the food. So we have a 6,000 square foot dining facility, and it features Ellensburg's first Panda Express. And there you go. See, that's what I could say anything up here until Panda Express. I get the ooh, that's really cool. But it is really cool, and the students, I think, like their Panda Express, don't they? Yeah, finally, see, they're smiling now for the first time since last night, probably. My guess is they woke up about 10 minutes ago. But it seats about 84 students on the inside and 24 in the outside. And I'll invite you to stop by and visit today. I will suggest you get there as fast as you can after the open house, because there will be a line there. Trust me. I've tried to eat there about 3 times, and my lunch hour doesn't extend that long because you guys are filling that place up, and that's really cool. And I think as many of you know, we recently opened a new Tomlinson Stadium, and on the other side of this building is a new student recreation facility, our track and field facility with an indoor field, and the students can play lacrosse and soccer and various sorts of field sports on that. So for those who, for the alumni who have been here, the campus kind of stopped on that road when you were here. Well, the campus now goes for another block in that direction, and we're very, very proud of that expansion. And who knows? There's still about 200 unbuilt acres, Tom. So we can keep going if you wanna play along with us here a little bit. And the reason I referenced Representative Dent is that he's instrumental. For those, as you're walking around campus today, you will know that Hertz Hall is no longer there, and that will be the home of our new health science building. And a lot of the students that are going to, who are living in here over the years will be studying, just a few hundred yards away in really a brand new state of the art. And we're also very pleased to be able to report that building was completely 100% funded by the state appropriation. There's been a trend with the escalation of building costs that the estimates don't really keep pace with the reality. So we oftentimes get all the money we ask for, but it's not enough money by the time we get that money. And in this case, maybe we asked for too much, or maybe the building cost leveled off. The lighting folks can tell us which one of those is true, but that building is completely funded, and we'll be breaking official ground over there. It's also, for those who, we've done something that I guess we didn't think this through. Of course, Professor Hertz was a very significant person on this campus, really the founder of our music program as we know it today, which is the best music program in the West, without any question. So we didn't want to lose the name Hertz Hall. So we had a performance hall in the music building that didn't have a name. So we transferred the name Hertz to Hertz Hall. So Hertz Hall is in the McIntyre Music Building, but when we announce a concert, we announce the concert in Hertz Hall. And all the community members show up and call me when they're standing outside the building that has just been demolished. So we have to come up with a solution to that. But that's my problem and not yours, and this is a happy time, and let's get rid of me just ad-libbing and going back and looking down at my notes. And I think I have said everything that they want me to say, except the introduction of our next speaker, and that is the head of our residence council, and he lives. You live here, correct? Yes, you're here. You're a resident of this building, and that is, of course, Martin Matisse, who is the head of all of this activity. So, and he's not smart enough to wear a jacket. So, come on up here and let me put this on you so you don't freeze to death. There you go. All yours.
Thank you, President Gaudino. I would like to take this opportunity to talk about both the legacy of this land and the legacy of Dr. Dugmore. As we honor the new opportunity that Dugmore Hall provides for our university, it is important to acknowledge that we are not the first people to reside on this land. Therefore, we acknowledge that Central Washington University resides on the land of the Yakima Nation and their traditional ancestral homelands. Acknowledging the land requires that we also recognize colonization still occurs, and traditional native and indigenous lands are still threatened throughout the world. Knowledge of colonization calls us to commit to learning how we can be stewards of this land and recognize how our actions contribute to larger systems. Recognizing this land is only a first step. We honor with gratitude the land itself and the people who have stewarded it throughout the generations. We express additional gratitude to their legacy, their lives, and their descendants. Thank you. Now, here are a few remarks about Dr. Owen Dugmore. Professor William Owen Dugmore taught in CWU's Department of Psychology for 45 years, from 1969 to 2014. While at Central, he taught courses in relationships, personal development, and counseling. He had provided personal counseling services to students at the Student Medical and Counseling Clinic on campus. Dr. Dugmore always sought to create an open and accepting atmosphere where students could safely explore their identities and their values. Students in his classes have said they felt very connected to him and to each other. In November of 2017, the CWU Board of Trustees bestowed on him Professor Emeritus status for his services to the university. Several years before his death in January of 2018, he designated CWU as the sole beneficiary of his estate. His donation of nearly $1.2 million is the largest gift in recent university history. Dr. Dugmore's bequest provides financial support for scholarship endowments in the departments of music and psychology, plus funding for the counseling center. The William Owen Dugmore Endowed Music Scholarship was established in 2007. It supports students pursuing a degree in music, where he once said that without music, he felt his life would have no reign for its roots. I would now like to introduce Dr. Jenna Hyatt, Central's Associate Dean for Student Living, our next speaker.
I'm going to need that binder, I think. Okay, never mind. I got it. Hi, everyone. Good morning, everybody. We're so glad that you're here. This has been a long time coming for us, and so to get to this space at this time truly is remarkable. First of all, a project such as this one is not done without a body of individuals truly coming together for a common purpose. And this project started with that in mind. In fact, it was so unique and compared to any other project I've ever been a part of at all the institutions I've worked at and all the buildings that I've been a part in a design. And the reason for that is what we heard earlier from our president, that this was our first design build at this institution. And I want to tell you, there's something about that that needs to be said. And that is, as we sit here at a university and in the academy, so much of the work and research that we do in scholarship is about moving from theory to practice. And in a design build, you have three different components coming together at the same time at a table. You have the owners, which is us at the institution with students in mind. You have the architects, which is by Malum, and you have the designers. And they're at the table at the same time, moving from theory to practice. And you can't do that without having some common connection and common purpose and really a great deal of trust and a great deal of capacity to listen. Because not one out of the three trumps the other. We're all in it together. This experience also created something very unique. We had a charter, we had purpose, and the whole goal in this whole success of this project was to stay very true to what this was. We said we would design this entire northwest corner of this campus to something truly remarkable that we'd never seen before. And it was with and in concert with parking and with rec sports complex and the rest of the campus in what was an academic corridor. We said we would open and be ready for by August 2nd, and it says here in print, 2019. And we did it. We said that we would create an incredible living room, incredible dining space for folks for our students, for our community to come together in residence and to eat together and enjoy. And you could read these, and I'll leave this up here because I've never been a part of a project that was able to create just that and actually deliver on what our measurables were in such a public way. So at this time, and my goal and what I'm asked to do is to thank many, many, many partners coming together to deliver on this. So first I want to start with a thank you to our residential students, whereby none of this would be a reality and truly of which all of it matters. I'd like to thank our Board of Trustees for approving this project in order to make our entire residential enterprise and experience remarkable for decades to come. Our university leadership, led by President Galdino, all of our vice presidents, truly had a great deal of trust in all of us as a design team and principals, where we truly were sequestered, what I would call sequestered, Malin and Leidig's laughing, for about 3 days every other week for months and months, and we had to lock down and make decisions in real time. And to do that, our leadership had to trust also that we could keep everything in motion with the 22 other residence halls and communities and dining that were in motion. I'd like to recognize and thank our finance crew that lined up our bond sale back in February 2018, which involved a successful bonding, and you heard of the funds of $40 million for the project. As I mentioned, there's a lot of synergy that happens when 3 different entities come together, and this one was truly just that. I want to thank Malin, and notably I'd like to thank our architects that are here and also that couldn't make it today: Kurt Hapola, Beth Brett, Joseph Mayo, Carissa Berry, Ann Roederer, Laura Bolin, and Brad Lest. Through Leidig, thank you so much for building this in our theory into truly reality. From Leidig, notably Marc Cork, Vince Campanella, Tim Grable, Logan, Trevor Dan, Jim Dawson, Jesse Todd, and Nick Lambden. If Leidig was up here with me, which I know they will be shortly, they would also agree that the thanks is also extended to all of our subcontractors and laborers who made all of this possible. We've been fortunate to have the focus and passion created by our designer, our interior designer, Angelique Nosa. She's been phenomenal. Probably one of the best decisions we made was to hire Angelique to bring what you will see to life, the shell of this building, into the reality that made it a home. This is a contemporary building for us and a departure from the rest of our residence halls, and her mark with us and trusting us and really teaching us made what you're about to see truly happen. We're lucky to have found you, Angelique, and your talent really has brought home this project. Thank you. We want to next thank our project manager, Joanne Hillerman, for your dedication to the project from day one. We had a lot of unique things happen throughout the 18 months, and you kept with it. We appreciate all the time spent as our PM to manage this complex project, such as, and truly in history, we've never had a project that has included a residence hall, a parking lot, and a dining facility. So you made history. Congratulations. This housing crew I want to thank, which also was part of the sequestered group for the owners, which is us at Central, which is led by Tricia Rabel, our executive director, Joe Bach, our director of housing facilities, Michael Serafin, our director of operations, Dr. Ian Miller, our director of residence life, Jackie Duke, our residence hall coordinator for Dugmore, and the entire housing and residence life crew up front and behind the scenes. Thank you. Now, our partners in dining and auxiliary enterprises, which include many staff such as Joseph Pierson, Dean Mercurio, who served as primary charter members of this project. Thank you for your partnership and coordination to provide a strong commitment to pledge a program that exceeds the basics and propels the finest of accommodations and services for our students. Now, the whole thing and the whole point of all is our students. And here at Central, a student voice is a value we hold very true and we keep at the center of everything that we do. This project had a strong, talented, and responsible student leader through the entire project from beginning to end. This student, Jocelyn Matheny, who is here today and is now a graduate, served those 2 years with us every day at the sequestered experiences. And that's hard when you have a full class load and serve as the student government ASCW vice president. So your commitment to this project, it was critical for us to understand what it is to be a student in residence today with all the complex issues that face a student and what a design could do as an environment to help find success for a student. So I want to thank you for giving of your time and your service and your knowledge and your passion and your heart to this project so that we could understand and build something that would really matter for students. Now, Mikhail Candelera will be here in just a moment. He now serves in Jocelyn's position as vice president, and he will be up here cutting the ribbon with us shortly. Now, a couple more things. There's one thing to build a residence hall and a contemporary dining facility, and there's another to thrive in it and maintain its systems and its features and its beauty for years and decades to come. With this in mind, I want to thank our entire custodial grounds and facilities staff, are led by Shane Scott, for truly their role in all of this during the charrettes and during the design build needed to be instrumental for them to know what we built and how, why, and all those systems to continue for decades and decades to come. Now, you're going to laugh, but it's true. One of the most important things on students' minds is, how do I log on to the internet? And you have to get that right. And we said that at the very beginning of the project. Listen, we got to get, this has to work. And so I want to personally thank our crew in IS for this support, namely Steve Ashbrooks, Keith Jones, Mike Marchant, Brent Morton, and Nate Hill. Now, our partners in the city of Ellensburg, including our subcontractors, we thank you for being involved in this dream, moving to reality every step of the way. If I'm right, I think there were 5 different permitting processes. And that's not done without a community that cares about what's happening here on campus. I want to thank our partners in ROTC, athletics, psychology department, library, and multiple neighbors that you can see from here, such as the rec center, that shared this space and coordinated many, many efforts. With that, and all these crews at this time, would you please help me to thank them more publicly? Now I'd like to invite one of our charter members up to the podium, Joseph Pierson, our Executive Director of Auxiliary Enterprises.
Good morning, welcome. This is truly an exciting day for Central and for myself as well. I join my colleagues in giving a heartfelt thank you to the many people who made this effort possible, and we're very excited and made this a dream a reality. Many of us, as you heard, spent hours and hours and hours together, and all with the goal to deliver excellence for the students of Central Washington University. And many of us gave up some things to do that, and so it is a commitment. But I think you will see the fruit of our labors. I think we're certainly pleased with what we have. Early in this process, when we knew we wanted to have a dining facility as part of the project, I sent a survey to the students asking them, well, what nationally branded concepts would you like to see in a dining concept that aren't currently offered in the community? Well, we received an overwhelming response, and Panda Express was articulated as the front runner, and I'm proud to say that the students spoke and we delivered. The intent of the design of the Northside Commons dining facility was to provide food in this northwest corner of campus because we didn't have anything over here, particularly for the residents of Dugmore Hall, but also for all the community. Along with delivering Panda Express, we wanted to create an upscale and unique cafe and market, all while providing an extension of the living space for our Dugmore residents. And when you get a chance to go see the Northside Commons, if you haven't yet, I think we delivered there too. The building is bright, vibrant, unique, and serves as a standard of excellence for the future of dining services here on this campus. I want to give my thanks to the CW Dining Services team, notably current director Dean Masuccio, the director of Dining Services, Christine Miller, our North Campus dining manager, Joe Ritchie, our executive chef, and Emily Hobart, our auxiliary marketing and communications manager. I also want to give a special note of thanks to those who were involved in the planning process from the beginning. Retired Dining Services Director Dan Lehman, Jim Matheny, our catering manager, our retired dining manager, Lori Wirt, Christine Coninger, our current dining manager for markets and cafes. Each of them and their teams have been instrumental in making these things possible. So again, I'm not taking too much time, but I am super excited for our students. I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for the opportunity that we are able to provide for Central Washington University. Now I'd like to introduce two other members of our team that I think would be great for you to hear from. They've been instrumental in the development of the facilities. First, Marc Cork, a partner at Malum Architects, and then Vince Campanella, Vice President of Operations at Leidig Construction. So if the two of you want to come up and address us, thank you.
Well, thank you, Joseph, and we'd like to, I think, say the same things that Jenna and Joseph said. It took a tremendous team to build this facility, and we're going to want to talk a little bit about the process and kind of highlight really what made this thing really special for us. We've been on this, Leidig has been on this campus for over 20 years. We've put in place a lot of great facilities, and when we get an opportunity to do not only design build but put in place a residence hall that has such a huge impact on student life, it's a real treat for us. So this was our first opportunity to put in place a full-scale facility like this, and we were charged with some pretty tall tasks. This is a new type of facility, a new delivery method, so there was a lot of learning and a lot of new things that had to be tried. We put in place, as Jenna mentioned, the team charter, which really had our goals in there. And one of the big goals was to really start to create a statement here on the north side of the campus. And so that was the charge for our architects and their team to really put something in here that was going to be a great statement. And I think they've done a fantastic job. I think the students are loving this, and we couldn't be more pleased with that. And the other thing was just the team approach to this. And I think we probably want to talk a little bit about how it's normally done. And just we'll start with the old saying of just because you can do a thing doesn't mean you have to. You might hear that a few times here, but we'll say.
I've been fun throughout this process of reminding our team and our client where we've been, and so I'll do it again. This past Wednesday, October 9th, marks 21 months exactly since we had our first kickoff meeting. So to be standing here in front of a building like this, completed with occupants, is pretty amazing. As designers and as builders, we approach something like this with a great deal of fear, but also kind of get to work and figure out how we can do this. And we know we have the tools, we know we have the skills, we know we have the talent within our organizations to pull this off. What is out of our control is all the things we need from our client, and that is access to the right people at the right time, timely decision makings, and living with those decisions as we move forward, and just really a commitment and a partnership to getting all that work done. And I'm also fond of telling the story that way back at the interview, sitting across the table from Jenna and Joanne and others, I looked up and I saw fear in your eyes. And at that point, I knew we had a chance of pulling this off, because you understood that this was going to be unlike any project you've ever done before, and it was going to take a lot. And I commend you and your teams for pulling this off. I also wanted to thank President Gadino for having the wisdom and the courage to entrust Jenna and her team and empower you to make the decisions that needed to be made. And then for jumping in at one key meeting when we got stuck and really needed an executive administrative level decision to keep us moving. So hats off to you. You and your ability to empower your team to do that were really a large part of the success. So on behalf of our team, the design team, Vince, you may want to say a word or two more, but just thank you very much. We're extremely proud to have been part of this project.
And to highlight even what President Gaudino said about the timing on this, most projects like this take 5 to 6 years to put into place. We did this in 21 months. That's unheard of, and that's one of the reasons why design build is becoming a more popular delivery method in the state. You can cut out a lot of the time issues that go along with a traditional project that's out there with all the planning that has to take place. But this was an amazing project. We hear the sequestered all the time, and it wasn't quite that bad, but it was close. We did have food brought in, so that helped. But it did. It took an amazing effort on the part of the university, and I just want to say the same thing Mark did. We would not be here today without just a tremendous effort and the dedication of Jenna and Tricia and Joseph and Joe and everybody, the CW staff, to really help the process along. We put together our charter, we put together the rules of engagement, the way we wanted to work together, and everybody on the team lived up to that. And just kudos to you and your team, and congratulations. This is a fantastic facility, and when are we going to do the next one? Thank you.
Hey everybody, we're wrapping up. This is our last speaker. So my name is Arthur. I'm the president of the Residence Hall Association, and I just want to thank you all for coming out this chilly morning. I was sitting there almost shivering, and you braved it. You come to support all the work. I didn't even realize how much work and effort and everyone that was involved in this. I'm so happy that I was here to be able to witness this. And after the ribbon cutting ceremony that will be happening right over here, we're going to be inviting you all to our reception, which is, Northside Commons, or on the other side of Dugmore. Get over there, check out. We'll have the samples from our new menu over there. Fantastic. I've already sampled it. You guys got to really try that stuff. It's pretty amazing. And also, we're going to have the amazing the RA team going to be showing you around Dugmore. Go on tours. It's a fantastic hall, and you should be there. And also, I'd like to, I have to invite the whole list of people who are going to be cutting this ribbon. So I'd like to invite up Dr. Jenna Hyatt, Joe Bach, Joseph Pierson, Dee Masuccio, Joanne Hillerman, Mikkel Candelaria, Vince Campanella, Marc Cork, and last but not least, President Gaudino to come up and open these two buildings.
Come on. Whenever you're ready.
1, 2, 3.